And to the island. It's sunny here in, well, we're not in LA, but the LA Rams are playing in this one, welcoming in the Minnesota Vikings. If you're new here to Action Island, we're about to concoct a same game parlay for Thursday night football. And who better to join me on the island than the trio of Nick Giffen, Sean Koerner, and Gilles Gallant. Here they are now joining beside me. Guys, if you're new to this is how the show will work. Both our analysts, or all three of our analysts, will each give two legs. We will vote one in, vote one off. The result, a three-leg same game parlay for Thursday night football between the Vikings and the Rams. All right, we don't have to really wait any longer. Nick Giffen, you're up first. Where are we headed for our first leg?
Yeah, so this is not a luck rankings over or under, but I'm still going to go with over. 48, there's some 47.5s out there, 48.5s out there. I think for this parlay, we're doing it at bet 365 if I am correct. So over 48 or something like that there, but I like the over. When I looked at each team's scoring and then each team's expected scoring, this does actually have a bit of a signal to the over in terms of expected scores. Just looking at that, I think, and factoring in the fact that neither team has had, on average, 30 minutes of possession. Well, somebody has to, if not both, have to have more possession than they have been having this year, which should lead to even higher expected scores from these teams. I think I can get to over 48, especially add in the fact that, you know, they're playing indoors. And yes, both these teams play all their home games indoors, but they have had a couple outdoor games. So you can bump up a little bit on the expected scores as well. So I'm getting over 48 by expected score is the short way to say it. For my second pick, I am going to go with Cooper Kupp alt receptions, 8 or more. I wanted to bump it up and get a little extra, odds for our money here. Cooper Kupp, when Matthew Stafford is blitzed, Cooper Kupp is by far, he's already the number one target, but even more by far the number one target when Stafford faces a blitz, and we know the Vikings blitz at one of the highest rates. Also, when Stafford faces pressure, Cooper Kupp has a higher target per route run when Stafford is pressured. So both of those things are things that the Vikings do very well. They blitz, but also when they blitz, they get pressure. So should see a lot of Cooper Kupp tonight, especially if there's no Puka Nacua, which if he plays, it sounds like they want to work him in, but I still think it's pretty questionable if he plays. And if he doesn't play, Cooper Kupp has some amazing splits with him without Puka Nacua. I mean, he already has, 27 targets in a game and a half this year. That's all Cooper Kupp has played this year, and he had 27 targets. So I like the alt line here.
Yeah, it does feel like the over is kind of lining up here also on a short week. And then, of course, Cooper Kupp, finally coming back. You assume they were cautious with his return, and you mentioned it. The first week that he played in the only game that he had a full game, he had 21 targets against the Detroit Lions. So obviously Matthew Stafford going to be targeting Cooper Kupp early and often. All right, Gilles, Sean, we have to get to voting between the over in this one or Cooper Kupp alt receptions. Let's get to it. All right, do we vote on points or do we vote on Cooper Kupp having a field day? Let's show them. 3, 2, 1. Over, Kupp. Cooper Kupp, 8+ receptions is the first leg of our same game parlay. I mean, it makes sense. Everything seems to be aligning for Cooper Kupp to come back and absolutely dominate. You mentioned the blitz stats with how often Cooper Kupp is utilized. Feels like he's going to be targeted very early and often. All right, Gilles, you joined me earlier on 4 down territory. We've got a couple of touchdowns. Just refresh our memory on what they are.
For sure. And I mean, Nick kind of already laid it out for me, but I think this is a great angle here where we're both going to be on Cooper Kupp to have a good game. So Cooper Kupp to score a touchdown is the first option because he alluded to it. He's the focal point of this offense. With Matt Stafford at quarterback, they played 40 regular season games together. Cooper Kupp averages just under 10 targets per game with Matthew Stafford at quarterback. And then this Vikings defense, they play zone at a top 5 rate. And Kupp has historically just done well versus zone, over 2 yards per route run in each of the last 3 seasons. And they're 24th in defensive DVOA versus wide receiver 1. So Cooper Kupp touchdown, I think, is the best option for the Rams side. On the Vikings side, Jordan Addison for a touchdown, I think, is another one we need to consider. Now, he's only got 1 touchdown this year, but a great matchup because the Rams, I know their secondary has improved a little bit, but for the year, 28th in defensive DVOA versus the pass and 29th versus the deep ball. And Addison, he leads the team in the highest ADOT and has the highest yards per route run versus zone. And the Rams play zone at a top 6 rate. So he's also the only Vikings wide receiver to catch a touchdown versus zone this year, other than Justin Jefferson. So I think Jordan Addison for the Vikings is the second option we should consider. So Jordan Addison or Cooper Kupp for an anytime touchdown.
Yeah, 2+ money anytime touchdown opportunities. Pretty surprised Cooper Kupp this high up, given the fact of Aaron Jones, Jettas, Kyron Williams are so far into the minus territory. And then you mentioned it, Addison, the big play, explosive ability, able to take advantage of a Rams defense that hasn't been, too keen to stopping the deep ball. All right, Nick, Sean, I have a feeling where we're going with this one, but we have to get to voting. Kupp or Addison to find the end zone. All right, Cooper Kupp coming back and finding the end zone, or does Jordan Addison find the explosive? Let's show him in 3, 2, 1. Kupp, Kupp, Kupp. A clean sweep of Cooper Kupp to start us here on Action Island. Double Kupp with that one. Cooper Kupp, 8+ receptions. And then, of course, the anytime touchdown, the 2 legs of our same game parlay to start us off. Sean, we don't have to waste time because we're all in agreement with Cooper Kupp to find an anytime touchdown. What are your 2 legs for the SGP final one?
Yeah, so for the first one, I'm going to go with Rams plus 2.5. Why not? I already gave out a plethora of reasons why in my Thursday Night Football preview. And at the top of the hour, Nick, of course, gave out all of his reasoning, including the luck rankings. Plus, as you mentioned, Charlie, like over 80% of the action has been on the Vikings. And we still saw this number drop down from the key number of 3 down to 2.5. So I just think a ton of sharp action has been on the Rams here. I loved them at 3. Still like them at 2.5. I think they upset the Vikings here, so like them for a potential first leg. And we already need Cooper Kupp to have a good game anyway. Why not parlay that with the Rams? For my other one, Tutu Atwell to make at least one 20+ yard catch at plus 125. I realize we have a Cooper Kupp SGB brewing here, but figure I'd get Tutu in the mix as well. Kupp's return will obviously eat into everyone's playing time and target share. But Jordan Whittington getting ruled out, that should keep Tutu's playing time fairly high here still. And of course, the Vikings blitz at the highest rate in the league. We'll see a ton of blitzes tonight. And while Kupp will certainly be the blitz beater, Tutu has been the guy in Kupp's absence. He's seen a 32% target rate against the blitz, which ranks 28th out of 148 qualified pass catchers. So anytime Kupp doesn't get a target when they're blitzing, I think it could go Tutu's way, and Kupp might actually free Tutu up to be open, especially downfield. So I think there's about a 53% chance he clears this. I think his longest reception prop over 16.5 probably offers more value. But this market has been very good to me lately with the Shaheed and Franklin hits the past 2 weeks. So I like Tutu, 20+ yard catch up, plus 125 here.
Yeah, I was going to say, the last couple of weeks on Action Island, you've been able to narrow down the explosive play that was coming. You had Shaheed. He had a great day. And then last week, it made me feel good watching Troy Franklin because I had his over on receiving yards catch that deep one as well. All right, Nick, Gilles, we've got to get the voting. Do we side with the luck rankings and the Rams, or do we go with a little Tutu Atwell? All right, let's get to voting. Do we wear our tutus and do a little ballet dance, or do we go with the Rams? Let's see. Is anyone corny enough? 3, 2, 1. Rams. I drew the little St. Louis, the old Rams, because I don't really like their new logo. But the Rams rounding us out of this same game parlay, the luck rankings reigning supreme here. So a quick recap of what that SGP is. It's a all Rams SGP. Cooper Kupp, 8 receptions and an anytime touchdown. And then the LA Rams plus 2.5, which, I mean, it feels like 2 has kind of become a key number of late with all the missed extra points, the 2-point conversions and whatnot. You put that 3 together. Nick mentioned it at the beginning of Action Island, plus 700 over at Bet365. And Nick, I'll kick it to you. How do you feel about how this SGP kind of formed?
Yeah, well, I was recapping the luck rankings in our Action Network Discord earlier, and the sides are only 9, 9, and 1 this year, which is unlucky for the luck rankings. So we're due for some positive luck ranking regression. And right, because we've been over 60% each of the last 2 years, very well over 60% each of the last 2 years on the sides, and it hasn't happened this year. So I like the side, and Cooper Kupp will ball out.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense also. The last couple of weeks, I think it's the public's been like on one with the road favorites, everything like that. So it feels like there's finally a spot brewing for the public to be wrong on prime time with the LA Rams. And obviously, you know, it's a same game parlay. You can do whatever you so please. Get that 3 if you really want it. But it is an SGP for a reason. Pick and choose based on what we all say. The final payout, once again, plus 700 over at Bet365. All right, Nick, Gilles, Sean, best of luck on all your bets tonight, guys. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again on Monday. And one more time on that same game parlay, which I laid out for you at plus 700, Bet365, the best available. Cooper Kupp, 8+ receptions. Pair that with an anytime touchdown. We're expecting a big day out of Cooper Kupp. And then the Rams, plus 2.5. The luck rankings getting back on track with a win here. You pair that all together once again, plus 700 at Bet365.